Hey there, my name is Kelly Dale with Off the Beaded Path, and this is your Must Know Monday for Monday, September the 9th, 2019. Today, I want to talk to you about the difference between a jump ring, a split ring, and a soldered ring. People talk about these three items quite a bit, and they get them confused quite often when they're trying to tell someone about what they've used or what they need or what have you. So let's go ahead and learn the difference between the split ring, the jump ring, and the soldered ring. Okay, so here in front of me, I have an array of rings, whether they be jump rings or split rings. So first, we'll go over what's called a split ring. So a split ring is a small steel ring with two spiral turns, such as a key ring. So you can see here, you've got a little tiny miniature key ring, basically. These are really great to use because they cannot be pulled apart from each other. So if you, put a clasp on with a necklace or a bracelet, whatever, it can't be pulled apart. Now, the bad thing is, though, is that if these get opened and they kind of stay open and don't stay closed like they're supposed to, your clasp, thread, whatever, can actually come loose from your piece. They make pliers for split rings that make them easy to use. Now, I always ask people, are you using sterling silver or like a precious metal, or are you using a plated metal? And people go, I don't know. So the reason that I ask these questions is because there's two different pliers that you can purchase to use with your split rings. The first one is just like this one. This is one by the Beadsmith Company. But this particular plier here, you can see how it has a little prong on it and it's further back on the plier. These specific ones are made for plated split rings, not key rings. Lord love me. And so what it's made to do, let me get it up here so you can see it. You can actually put it right there in the split of the ring and press it. And you see what happened there? You see how it opened it up? That will allow you, if you kind of scoot it over like this, to be able to get your clasp started, and then once it's in there, you can take and turn it and put it on like a key ring. But now with this plated ring, using the key ring, Lord, I'm gonna say it 12 times today. But you can see with the split ring, when I opened it and I pushed it like this, now you can see that it actually left the ring open a little bit, and there's no way to actually get that back closed once it's kind of formed open. So that's one of the downfalls of using one of the smaller rings and using a split ring plier. Now these here, you'll notice a difference. These are also by the Beadsmith, but you'll see they have a prong, but they're very close to the end here, and it's a smaller prong. So let me pull these back up together here so you can see again. So you can see the difference here. Number one, in the length, how far back it is, and then the prong itself. So these are made for your more precious metal split rings. And when you press it, you can see it opens it, and it doesn't open it very wide, just wide enough so that you can get something in there and kind of get it started. The good thing about these is that they don't open that split very far, so you don't have to worry about it's staying open like it did on this side. Split rings come in a bunch of different sizes, like 4mm, 6mm, 8mm, but normally they don't have a gauge to them. So that is what a split ring is. Now, a jump ring comes in a lot of different categories. You can get an oval jump ring, you can get a regular jump ring, you can get twisted jump rings. The thing you want to be cautious with about your jump rings is your size of your rings, especially if you're doing something like chainmail. So these specific ones here that I'm going to show you, these are by the Beaded Company. This is artistic wire chainmail jump rings. The great thing about these is it tells you that these are made out of 20 gauge wire. and it has an ID. This is inside diameter. So the inside size of the circle is 9/64 of an inch. Then it has DI, so this is the outside diameter, and this is 3.57 millimeters. So this is a 3.57 millimeter size ring. These are really, really nice when they tell you this. They're some of the only jump rings I've ever found that actually tell you, unless you buy sterling silver or something to that effect. Most of them are going to come like this, where it will tell you that this is a 6 millimeter 18 gauge jump ring. So the size of the ring is 6 millimeter. Your gauge, which is the thickness, is an 18 gauge. So these are some of the artistic wire ones that I was showing you earlier, and these are really neat. I really like these because you don't have to worry about these turning as far as their color. But to open and close a jump ring properly, you're going to need 2 pliers. It can be 2 flat nose, whatever you have. I'm using a pair of bent nose pliers and a pair of flat nose pliers, but you grab a hold of each side and you're going to twist them apart. Get a hold of it here. There we go. We twist it apart. And the reason that you twist it apart is because you never want to take your pliers and grab a hold of the inside and pull it out like this, because if you do, you're gonna lose. Let me pull it out some more here. You see, you're gonna lose that perfect circle shape that you need, because now if I try to grab this and I try to close it back, it's hard to get it closed back properly and to look good. By the twisting method, like I showed you here, you're able to grab a hold of both sides and twist it back together. And if it doesn't completely 100% close your ring, you can take and grab a hold of each side and twist and push towards each other. So that way, once you do that, it is a nice closed ring like this. The problem with a jump ring is that if somebody yanks it really hard, it will come apart. So if you've got it together, you pull it really hard, it's going to pull apart, just like I pulled apart that ring and lost my perfect circle. The good side to that is if it pulls, it actually, and it comes apart, it actually won't choke somebody or hurt somebody, and it's very easy to fix at that point. The bad news is it comes apart. So I think it's kind of one of those things you have to pick your battles. This jump ring here is a jump ring I really like. We carry these in silver and in gold. This is actually a twisted metal ring. The twisted jump ring makes it a little bit stronger of a ring. The one I'm using today is a 6 millimeter 16 gauge twisted jump ring. So it makes it look really nice, but at the same time, these are harder to pull apart than these are here. But we open them the exact same way, and it's kind of hard to even find the cut on these because they're so nice and textured. But again, we just grab a hold of each side and you twist like that to open the ring. And then when I want to close it, again, I'm going to grab a hold of each side and I'm going to twist it back closed. So the twisted jump rings are really, really nice to use. The good thing too about the twisted jump rings, if you have to hold them really hard to open them, it doesn't mar your jump rings. So that's the really good thing. Another jump ring that we like to use here at the store is called an oval jump ring. A lot of people like to use the oval jump rings because they're a little bit harder to pull apart. And you can see that the split is actually on the side of the ring here instead of being, you know, kind of at the top where a normal jump ring split is. But you open these up the exact same way. And how I like to open up an oval jump ring is I like to completely go across one side with my flat nose pliers, and then I'll use the other plier to twist. So this way I get a nice hold onto that jump ring and I don't have to worry about it. And same thing, if I'm going to close it, I can grab a hold fully of one side and then just take and close it back just like that. So the oval jump rings are really nice to use, and they too come in different size ovals. Now finally, the last one we're going to talk about today is called a soldered ring, or what's called a perfect ring. And it is a jump ring, but it has been soldered. So it is one complete ring that cannot be opened or closed. It is straight solid. A lot of people like to use these to stitch straight onto, like if they're going to make an earring or something to that effect, so that way then you can just add the ear wire to the top of it. There's no real tools that you need for a split ring or a perfect ring. And again, they come in sizes as well. So like this one is an 8mm 18 gauge soldered jump ring. So you can see that these two here are about the same thickness. It's just one is a soldered and one is an oval. So I hope that you have learned today about the different rings and the different tools that you can use to open and close these rings. So I hope you enjoyed today's video and learning the difference between a split ring, a jump ring, and a soldered ring. So I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.